Okay, so we are in the garden in front of Alden Lane, and all of the wonderful perennials have kind of finished their major bloom, and it is time to give them a haircut for a couple different reasons. One is you actually might get a second bloom with some new growth, and the third is to keep the plants young and fresh and not leggy and kind of all funny. So we've got lots of candidates here to talk about. This is the Teucrium here, and you can see it at one time had these lovely little lavender blossoms, and they're just finishing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just give it a haircut. And you know, nothing terribly scientific here, no detail. So I'm just going to gather up some of these stems, and I'm going to go below where the flowers were, and just nip it all the way back until we see green. You always, you know, the general rule for pruning is that what we want to do is we want to always see green beneath our cut. You know, there are always exceptions to the rule. Some things can be pruned to bare wood and there's no problem. But on the other hand, there are times when a plant says, you know, I'm done. I don't have any viable buds here to grow again. So I am going to just quit. So what you want to end up with is just a nice green plant after you kind of nipped off these finished flowers. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look at our lavender, our neighboring lavender over here. And basically it's the same thing. And ideally what you do is you want to prune into the plant as far as you can go, but you still must leave that green. And I see just a whole piece that has died here, and I'm just going to prune it out entirely. So that's going to come out all together. But with these, again, I'm going to grab it. Oh, it smells so delicious. Talk about potpourri. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Nip, 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 prune. And again, we can still see some green. And the benefit of this is that it's going to keep your plant young. It'll keep it nice and tight and dense. And lavenders, if not pruned, will open up and splay, and there's really no fixing it when that happens. So you have to do just a little ongoing pruning to help them stay nice and dense. So pruning is stimulating. Right in the back of these cuts, there are little buds, and that's going to force lateral growth to make it full and dense, and keep it nice and full so that it continues to be nice and fresh and viable for years to come. Unpruned, a lavender in the garden may last 3 to 5 years until it gets kind of ugly. But this program of nipping them back into this nice, fresh green growth, you are going to end up with this plant that's going to last for years and years and years. And think of all the potpourri that you're going to be able to enjoy too. So that gives you the idea. And you know, you can do the gross pruning, and then you can do a final detail pruning as well to make it a little bit more even. In the back, this is Gara. It's called Dancing Butterflies, actually, is a really, really fun name for it. And again, these are all the finished flowering stalks. We're just going to nip them off and get rid of those at the top. Actually, we can maybe even go a little bit further than that. But certainly all these ends have got to go. And anything that is really in trouble, remove it entirely. You know, just as I said, pruning is stimulating. It's just remarkable how a good haircut can be so invigorating. Well, I can tell you that too, because all of us are feeling much better after a good haircut too when we can find one, right? Oh, goodness me. So take time in this kind of period after your perennials bloom to give them a haircut. And that could be any time from, Father's Day to Labor Day, kind of in that time frame is the timing. But you definitely want to do it. This is this August because it's right ahead of a growth spurt, and you have the growth potential that naturally happens during that period, along with the stimulation of the pruning, and you end up with this lovely, dense, bushy new plant. So there you go, another fun garden project.